I'm Kit Ryan of Ryan Sound Lab. Today we're going to show you how easy it is to install our MusicPower plug-in circuit boards that will transform your classic Naim preamp and give you an exciting new listening experience. This is our quick start video on how you can install our MusicPower plugins quickly and get to listening as soon as possible. Today we're going to look at our NAC72 preamp. Now before we get inside the preamp, let's make sure that we turn off the power amps first, then turn off the power to the preamp, and the power could be from a high cap or a snaps or maybe the power amp itself. Then unplug the power cable, it just makes it easier. This one has a push button, but yours may have a locking ring type that comes off rather easy. And unplug your inputs. That's a typical 5-pin input. And here's an input that may be from your CD player with RCA jacks on it. To get inside the case, we simply unscrew these 4 rubber feet. Normally when they would come off right with your hands, but if you need a Phillips screwdriver, go ahead. And then the case simply slides off from the chassis. And here you're at the inside. Now you notice here that the inside of the unit has all its active circuitry on plug-ins, plug-in circuit cards here. That means that by replacing these with our MusicPower cards, we can completely remake this preamplifier and add dramatic improvements in dynamics and depth. Wonderful, just wonderful sound that you're going to hear. Let's first change out the amplifiers that go out to the power amps. Let me show you how easy it is to remove these and replace these. Simply pull on the plug-in, straight up, comes right off these posts here. I should point out these posts are unique to their own position so that you really can't mess it up when you put in new cards. Now this position will get our Z200 line out amplifiers. They look like this and they have the number on them so you can be sure that you're installing the right component. Just line up the posts and push down, and you got it. See how quickly this can be done. Now, let's next, as part of your basic set, let's next replace this high-level input. These are the ones that normally come from your CD player. And I recommend that that's what you use these for. This is our Z401 high-level input boards. Again, simply line up the pins and push down and they're in. It's that simple. And finally, with your basic set, you got replacement for the time-aligned filter boards, buffers. I've taken out the 2 time-aligned boards. This is the buffer position that we are going to use to replace the time-aligned circuitry. It comes out of the box as a 2-board set connected together by a ribbon cable. I suggest that you put the first plug-in small board in the rear like this, and then the time-aligned filter plug-in like that. Make sure that the ribbon is pushed on there, and now you're done. If this is the set you ordered, then you're ready to put the top back on and enjoy listening. But before we do that, I'm going to show you 2 other possible options. If you ordered the remote control set, then your pair of filter boards look like this. The second plug-in is where the remote control is. Has a radio and a microprocessor and a precision stepped attenuator using a series of relays that keeps the channels perfectly matched. So let's insert those, same position, line up the pins, That goes in. Second board goes in like that. Now this one, of course, comes with an antenna. This antenna wire is fully insulated and it can just go any convenient place inside the case. Now if you also ordered the Phono boards, they go in this position, which lines up with the first input and the switch selector in the first position, called Phono, most of these. And our boards have a unique module for the moving coil cartridges that allows us to tailor the input impedance of this plug-in to match your cartridge needs. Normally we ship these with the matching components for Lin cartridges, just exactly the same as the K boards that Naim produced. So just make sure that module is pressed all the way down, and then, as before, line the pins up, and press it down. You may have to slightly reposition these shielded cables or this bundle of ground wires, because we use these very large capacitors which add so much to the sound quality. There it is. We have completely replaced the active circuitry now, and we have transformed this preamp into a much more dynamic and warm listening experience. So let's put the case back on, and as we slide the case over the chassis, we want to be sure that we push down on the circuit boards, because the case just covers these circuit boards. That was an intentional design feature by Naim, so that when the boards were all inside and the case was on, they would remain seated under any condition. Very, very clever design. And we'll just put in a couple of the feet here to give you the idea. You can reattach your cables, turn on the power to this preamp first, then your power amps, and you're ready for a transformational listening experience. Enjoy.